What's good? It is Aggie. You know, this video is so late, but in my defense, I have grad school and a bunch of other stuff going on, so it's been hard trying to commit to this really long, intense video. So why am I putting it out now? I decided, since I put way too much effort into it already, I'll just see it through and finish it. So right now it is indeed March 2023, but all the footage that's about to come up I shot in October 2022, literally a day right after the concert. I also really wanted to finish this so that my mom and other people who wanted to hear about my experiences could watch it. And not only that, but right now, as I'm, you know, doing final edits and stuff, like, DKB is popping off on peak time. And I'm just thinking, like, perhaps with the new BBs rolling into the fandom, some of the new big BBs would be like, oh, I want to know more about what the DKB members are like with fans, like in person. And I'm here to tell you, they're freaking fun and hella awesome. So like, I know that the experience that I had with DKB, like meeting them all during snapshots and the high touch and fansign, like it's not going to be the same for every other fan, right? It's going to be different. But I like to think that my experience is a good representation of the members and how awesome their energy is and how fun they can really be. So I just wanted to put that out there as well. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoy the video, and yeah, go DKB hunting. And we back with another story time. This time I got that VVIP. I didn't only have the high touch this time, but I also got the fan sign. Ooh, and this got hella crumpled. Goddamn. But okay, let's just get into it. Heechan's first, right? Because it's going in the leader to youngest order. When I got there, the energy was kind of a bit low. You know, he looked kind of a bit like Right, since he's the first one, of course, like that's the first like energy, like whoosh, energy explosion. I literally jumped into it too, like POV, you're DKB. It's going down for it. And he was like, wow, good to see you again. I was like, just so much energy, and then, you know, it was like, at that point, I was just like bouncing like through the fan sign. Do you want? And then Teo, okay. First thing he said is, oh, dancer? But like, I didn't even respond to that because I just cut him off with the, my mom loves you. My mom was so sad that she couldn't come to this concert. She loves DKB so much. But she was like, you need to tell Teo. And I was like, don't worry, I will. And he was just like, oh, thank you. And homie, he's so warm and genuine. And then GK just when I heard his voice, I said hella, and I was like, wow, like, you got hella nice moksori. I was like, what is this Konglish, bro? His smile can cure cancer. And I think he was like, good to see you again. Oh my god. So we go to Heechan, and I was like, hey, my dog got Chiku. He was like, oh, what's up, man? And then, you know, tap me up. He was like, you look so swag. And I was like, hey, thank you, that's all you do, bro. And then with Lune, he actually's like, wow, like, you have good energy. And then Junseo, I was like, hi, good to see you again. He was like, oh, hi. And then Yuku says, hey, good to see you again. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really remember what else happened because I was just lost in his adorable smile. Other BBs can attest, you know, his smile is just like cute. Alright, this is the one I was anticipating. My bias, my son, Harry June. I knew from the beginning when I got the tickets that I wanted to show up like this. And he's like, eh. He's like, thank you so much for coming. And then I even managed to get a little fist bump out of that. I was like, oh, bless up. So I might have to simulate this again, in which you are DKB. I come like, and so Heechan sees it, he's like, oh. So here's the thing, and this is like for the first few members. So like, after seeing me Millie Rock into it, they started doing it too, like, hey, Millie Rock, and like, so I was just like a 1-2 ready, but then he just kept going. I was like, okay, shoot. And so I was just waiting there, like after 1-2, and he kept going, and I was like, okay. And then D1-2, same thing. I was like, whoa. And he was still going. He was still ooh, you know. And then we high-fived, and then Teo, bruh, this turned into a whole production. Now imagine you're me and I'm Teo. He said, hey. And so I had to do the same thing. So I said, okay. I even did a full-out wave up. If he's going to full out shoot, I'm gonna start freestyling too. But then the managers are like, you have to keep moving along. And I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. So then I just like kind of sped through the rest, right? Because you had to take the photo. You know, when it finally ended, everyone was like, hey. You know, after the photo, like, they all turned around to say goodbye to us, and I was just like, hey, like, you know, I sneezed down a little bit, you know, we had to do it to him again for the one time. And then the girl in front of me was like, they're still cheering for you. And I was like, hey. I've never felt so hyped in my entire life. Yeah, and so now we reach the time for the snapshots. I was like, hey bro, and he was like, hey, and he was like, are you a dancer? And I was like, yeah. And like while we were waiting for the Polaroid to come out and stuff, he was like, you're the best dancer. I was like, oh my god. I was like, oh no. And I was like, that's like all you. I was literally like short circuiting where I was tweaking. Harry June just said to me that I'm the best dancer, which is so wrong. If he saw me in a dance class, no. But of course I'm so touched that he said that. But I really want to say like, nah bro, like 너의 안무 진짜 좋다. 최고. I will learn all of your choreo. He's like, oh thank you. And then, you know, it wasn't just a dap, it was a dap hug. And he was like, yeah, see you next time. And like, oh my gosh, he just sounds so sincere. And like, y'all don't understand, like Harry June really inspires me as a dancer. I mean, I could talk about it all day, but like, not only that, he just seems like such a fun dongsang, you know? Like, I would love to just like, you know, anmu collab and, you know, get food with What's my name? I could tell Yuku was exhausted because like, he's so cheery when he's with someone, but like even in the breaks when like people were switching out, like for the Polaroids, his facials would just like break for a bit. And then when I came, he's like, hey, you know, we did like a double high five. I was like, ah! And he's like, thank you for coming. Thanks, it's good seeing you again. And he's like, you have such good energy. And then I was like, oh, I went to the LA concert. Do you remember me? And he said, yeah, I remember you. And I said, oh my god. I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, he was like, yeah, it was nice seeing you. Have a good night. And I was so overwhelmed, and I just said thank you, you're so amazing, like with all my heart. He needed to know. Now I know he needed to know that like he makes fans so happy. We love him so much. Yuku, my guy. Yeah, it was a really short and sweet interaction, and you know, I of course valued every minute of it. And then Junseo, I came in doing the no guidance choreo, but of course he probably didn't realize that, but he did. He's like, hey, and then he said, good to see you again, right? And I was like, yeah, I went to the LA concert. He was like, what's your name? And I was like, my name is Aggie. And he said, you're a dancer? And I said, yeah. And then he was like, what's your favorite dance? He was like, oh, like hip hop? And I was like, oh yeah, hip hop. And then, you know, I squeezed in 사실 just jerk의 스튜디오에서 두 번 추었어. When I said just jerk, his eyes widened. He was like, oh really? Like me too. And I was like, I know. Like I know, that's why I brought it up. It's not like I danced there a long time, but it's like if I said like, oh, I danced at this studio in the US, like he probably wouldn't know it. So like name dropping gesture would at least give him like an idea of like the style of dance that I do. And I was like, yeah, like I know you dance to them, but I'm not as good as you, right? And he was like, no, you're good. I'm like, bro. And then he asked again. He was like, what's your name, bro? And I was like, oh, my name's Aggie. I said it aloud, and I said it clearly so that he won't forget, even though he probably will, it's fine. And he was like, Aggie? And I was like, yeah. And then he said, nice to meet you. So that was Junseo. I will remember that conversation forever. The fact that he asked for my name too, oh my god. But okay, moving on. So Lune, so okay, hey, I come in here and he welcomes me with like the rush hour. I did the what's my name? Because Lune trolling Harry June is the funniest thing.
What's my name? Harry June.
but it just became such an inside joke for this concert. What's my name? What's my name? But yeah, and we were taking the photo. Homie was like smiling for real, and he's like, "Are you having fun?" You know, in the photo, he like put his arm around me, and I was like, "Yeah, are you?" And then he didn't answer. But afterward, he was like, "Thank you." And I turned to him and I said, just so serious, like, "You are the funniest person ever." And he was like, "Oh." And it's that video where you just is just the best, and I will insert it here because everyone needs to see this. Rocket. He said, "Hey, you want to dance greeting?" I'm just dance greeting everyone. And so like we took the photo. And I was like, "Oh, MBTI가 MPP 맞죠? Like MBTI is ENFP, right?" And he's like, "Oh, ENFJ." My silence was probably loud. Because she was like, "Wait, are you?" I'm sorry. I was like, no. I was like, close enough. Yeah, and I said something like, "Yeah, like I really love watching you perform. Your vocals are the best." And like, because I was like, I don't know if I was just tired and losing it, so I was just becoming like even weirder. I started like, you know those balloon thingies in like auto malls? Your vocals are so good. They're so smooth like butter. Electric chair. I was trying to emphasize that his voice is so smooth like butter. They give me like a heavenly, holy experience.
Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
I kind of like got out of that, thank God. And I was like, "I really hope to see you again too though, like when are you coming back? Like a month?" And he was like, and I was like, 6 months? And he was like, and I was like, "Nah, just kidding, but I really I really hope to see you again soon." But low-key kidding, because those boys need a break. They exhausted. Brave Entertainment, you better let them rest, let them breathe, let them eat. But yeah, so that was D1. Honestly, if I knew I'd have way more time to talk to him, I would have planned it out better instead of turning into a balloon. But you know, it's fine. Like the excitement on his face when our eyes met, he was like, "Hey," and he was gonna dap me up. Okay, but it wasn't just a dude. This turned like stomp the yard, bro. Like it was dap, step, dip. Like I felt like I was like going to like start crumping. You know, it was like that was like the craziest dap, step, dip, body roll combination I've ever done. Oh God, my back hurts. And so like we took the photo. You know, when I was under his arm, like I felt so immersed in like that side hug. I was like, so nice. We took the photo, and after that I said, "You're the main dancer." Because let me tell you, his dance energy go hard. And he was like, no, I'm the main vocal. And I was like, no, you're also the main dancer and the main dancer. And he said, "Oh, thank you. I'm so happy you're here." I was like, "Oh, I was actually at the LA concert too." And he said, "Really?" And I was like, yeah. Like, so you know, I'm here, and I'll come to the next one. And then your pinky promise, and it was wholesome. And now I'm dead. So I come in and I'm like, "Hey." He's like, "Not your first time, right?" And I was like, no, like I went to the LA concert." And he was like, "I remember you." And I was like, "You remember me?" And he's like, "Yeah, you were doing the..." He remembered me sneezing. So, you know, some of the others were like, "Yeah, I remember you," but GK saying that, like, he remembered me. And like I literally fell into like a crouching position. I disappeared, bro. I said, in that moment, I told him like so sincerely, I said like, "You're my favorite person." He's like, "I'm sorry, what?" And I said it into his like, you are my favorite person. And he said, "Oh." And like, okay, let me tell you. So Harry June may be my OG bias, and Heechan may be my 동갑 친구 미친 personality 상중이, but like I genuinely meant it in that moment. See, ENFPs, you know, it's the ENFP thing. When you make a connection with someone, you're just like, I want to get to know this person forever. During the encore, they did Real Love. And again, I knew they were gonna go through the aisles because that's just what they do. I know they all pass through. But GK, this video means the world to me. If Heechan was like the MVP of the last concert, it's GK this time for sure. And so Heechan, all right, this one happened with the quickness because thank you for your service, sir. Go rest. I literally came in like Hey, then he like did it to, but he looked dead, bro. I felt so bad. We just took the photo, and he's one was like, good seeing you. The homie needed rest, and like, you know, I doubt he'll see this video, but if there's one thing I want to say to cheer him up and keep him going is that his verse in Tell Me is a masterpiece. And also, he's just awesome. 니더님, 화이팅 하세요. It must be really hard being one of the older members and being a leader, and there's a lot of responsibilities there, so I respect that. Alright, also, like, while I was waiting in the line for Heechan next, they were calling, like, last chance for Heechan and Lune and D1. And the whole time they would be like, last chance for D1. D1 kept doing the, what's my name? What's my name?
What's my name?
A few minutes later.
What's my name? Yeah. Boom. What's my name? What's my name? What's my name? What is his name?
Me and D1, we kept making eye contact, and we would make eye contact and do like the lean crank back, and it was just so funny. I would look at him and I'd be like, what's my name? And he'd be like, what's my name? And we just like mimic each other's poses. Oh, good vibes. And then right before it was my turn to take a picture with Heechan, when the person in front of me was going around, like me and Heechan, like we had eye contact, and he was like, ooh. And I was like, yeah. And alright, yeah, you already know what it is. Heechan's my boy. He was like, hey, there's that. He's my way. Then he said, hey. I said, oh, hey. And then we caught it at the same time. That's right, I threw it up and we caught it. He was like, are you a dancer? And I was like, yeah. So our photo was just supposed to be like, just like his arm around me, and we'd be like, hey. But he was like, oh, let's do it like this. So he has the arm around me, and he puts his knee up like this. And so I'm just like, it's dark in the photo, so you can't tell. Boy was making me balance when I was already hyper and had no balance. I said, and then, okay, I was like, I need to make sure he remembers the moment before when he had to hold my freaking wrist because my hands were shaking so badly. And so I just took out my phone. I showed him my lock screen. I was like, you okay? And I was like, you remember? And he was like, ah, naginde. Okay, this is the part 2 of me not keeping up with what he's saying.
My house looked like my father and my brother after 9 months.
But I know for sure that he was saying something like, my face still looks good though. The way, yeah, he didn't even acknowledge the fact that he was holding my wrist in that photo. He just said, but I look good. And I'm like, fair enough.
Fair enough.
And then he was like, I love you. Just like, I love you. And I was like, hey, love you too, bro. See you next time. And he's like, see you next time. And that was my last one. Boom, boom, boom. Do, do, do.
Oh, Lord.
Do, 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 do.
Again.
Do, 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 do. Boom. Alright, well, thank you for watching that video. Thank you. And I hope to see y'all at the next DKB concert. Peace, y'all. Have a good one.